Howdy, this is OAir at Oklahoma State University, and today we will be having a short informative video on how to capture data after a weather balloon launch has completed or post-launch using the GRAW software. And so as you can see, we're starting with the software already loaded. The first step to this process is you're going to go to Sounding and Simulation. Then you will click on the three dots under File right here. Typically, this will open to a folder in your Documents folder under GRAW and Archived. What we're looking for is these Z files. Typically, this file name is the date that the launch occurred with the UTC. So we can see right here, this was captured on 2024 4.8, and the UTC code for it is 2342. Now this is typically synced to your system clock and not global, so the launch date and this UTC time may not be the same. But for this demonstration, we're going to be pulling a different data set from a different launch computer. So you simply are going to navigate to where those files are held. And so we're going to be pulling from here. The launch I am looking for occurred at 2300 UTC. So right here, this is the file we're looking for. And simply you're going to check your start time on a sync time. And then you're going to ensure that all your properties are correct, your lat and launch or your launch are correct, and then you're going to hit Start Simulation. The next important part is to ensure that your simulation speed's at 100%. The next step I typically take is I will go into visualization and then go to sensor and GPS data tables. I find on certain versions of the GRAW software, if you do not have this data live plotting while the simulation is occurring, the data poll will fail and you'll have a blank file. So simply, we are just going to sit here and let this run out until the simulation is completed. And I will go ahead and pause the recording. And okay, so now that the simulation is done rerunning, we're going to make sure we have one setting checked in our menu over here. So we're going to go to report settings, and here we're going to type report, and we're going to do profile data. And we are simply going to scroll down and make sure that this enable is checked. I believe this is a setting that once you check it, it will stay checked, but you need to make sure that's enabled if this is your first time rerunning data. So we're going to click OK. We're going to go back to the software. And the first thing we're going to do is go to reporting. I'm going to go to reports. Then we're going to go down here to our profile data. First thing I personally do every time I check is to make sure that my launch time matched my launch time on the zip file I loaded. This is due to this is just double check that you don't have a previous report if you're doing multiple data polls in the same session. Then the next thing I'll do is scroll down to simply make sure we have a data table here. So next, you'll go and click on the Export Document button, and you'll scroll down to Text File. Leave these settings default, click OK, and then this will take you to a directory, and this is taking us back to the same place we opened the zip file. So OSU has a specific data saving convention, and so simply what that is start a file, and we're going to do the launch number. The specific launch I am rerunning the data for is launch number 6. So we're going to create that file, go inside, and we have a specific naming convention of if we put the launch number, we put the UTC time that the launch occurred, the date, the name of the computer ground station we used, and then the file name. So for this launch, I already have that data pre-populated right here. So I am simply going to right here, Control V, and we're going to put profile data, or the name convention calls for just profile. So once we have that, we simply hit save. It'll ask you if you want to open it. If you are worried that the file did not save correctly, go ahead and open it. We'll do it for this time. But typically I skip that step, and we can see the data is here populated correctly. Our launch time matches our zip file. Okay, so next we're going to go to visualization, and we're going to click on the sensor and GPS data. This typically is the report that will fail to generate the most for me personally. So if you see data here, typically that's a good sign, which we also, this is the tab we had open during the simulation. So in order to save this data, we're going to go to Start, Archive View, and it's going to bring us back up to the same file location we were in. So we're simply going to copy and paste our file name, and we're going to name this file RAW1. And the reason we're doing that is this will generate two different RAW files. So we are naming them. Basically, it will generate this view and then this view. So we're going to save that. It's going to export. And then we're going to get a second dialog box, and we're simply going to re-enter, and we're going to name this RAW2, because these are two separate files. We can see it generated the first one right here. Going to hit save. Next, so these have already saved. We are going to go to visualizations again. Going to click on Skew T. And our convention is to typically disable the humidity graph. If you would like to save it, then don't disable it. And then we're going to go back to Start, going to Archive View again. Simply, we are going to copy and paste the name we like to use, and we're going to do Skew T. This is our naming convention. If you believe you have a preferred one already, then go ahead and use that one. We're simply going to save as a JPEG. And lastly, there was one report I missed in reporting, and that is this BUFR data. And simply what we're going to do is we're going to click on it, like before with profile data, go down to export, export text file, leave the settings default, and then we are simply going to add in our name and simply name this BUFR.text and hit save. It'll once again ask you to open. Go ahead and open, and there we go. So if anything in this guide was unclear, please feel free to reach out to OAir. We'd be more than happy to answer any questions, and I hope this helps with any data saving or processing that you're encountering with GRAW software. Have a good day.